One of the most important voices in America for years has been Peter Schweizer. He's an investigative journalist, an author. He's appeared on the New York Times bestseller list, I think, about 8 times, most recently for his #1 New York Times bestselling book, BloodMoney, Why the Powerful Turn a Blind Eye While China Kills Americans. And I saw him on Mark Levin the other night on Life, Liberty, and Levin on Fox News, and I thought, gosh, I'd love to spend a few minutes with him. We don't do a lot of guests on this show. I always appreciate callers and voices in America, but I was so riveted by what he has revealed about the Zohran Mamdani family, and it was really important. So I'm honored to welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show the great Peter Schweizer. Peter, thanks for making time for us. How are you, sir?
Hi, I'm great. Great to be with you, my old friend. We've known each other for, I want to say, like 30 years, but it's great to see you again, and congratulations on all the great work you're doing.
Thank you so very much. Well, back at you because you're doing such important work. Peter, I can't really believe that this is unfolding the way it is in New York City. It's hard to believe that it's actually occurring. I can appreciate the Rush Limbaugh mantra that it's hard to beat Santa Claus when he's offering a lot of free stuff. And that, of course, is what Zohran Mamdani seems to be adept at. Hey, free bus ride, free fast bus rides, and we're going to freeze rents. And, you know, to struggling young people in New York City, he's like a dream come true. But in reality, he's a nightmare. He would be a nightmare for the city. It'll be a blessing probably for the Republican Party nationally if he wins. But what you revealed with Mark Sunday night was so important, and I wanted you to share with us, for the benefit of people who didn't see it, what you learned about Zohran Mamdani's family and the Qatari royal family.
I mean, look, New York is an international city in a lot of respects, but I think what a lot of people haven't appreciated is that there are a lot of international entities that are paying attention to this race, and I would argue that many of these are nefarious or troubling international entities. The Al Thani family, which has ruled Qatar for decades, is all in with Mamdani. First, the family has funded the Mamdani family to the tune of millions of dollars over the years. They're the ones that bankrolled Mamdani's mother's film career. The second thing to know about the relationship is that the family has gone on social media. They have a large international following because they have a lot of money, and they are extolling the virtues of Mamdani's campaign. They're putting out his policy positions. They're encouraging people to support his campaign, to donate to his campaign. And the third thing that people need to know is that Mamdani himself sees Qatar in a way as a constituency, because what did he do in September? He's running to be mayor of New York City. I don't know of any other American mayoral candidate that when they're running for City Hall goes on Qatari TV, which Mamdani did in September, and of course denounced Israel, denounced the United States for its involvement in genocide, as he put it. The bottom line being is that he sees them as, I think, an important component to what he wants to accomplish. And going beyond the Qatari family, the Qatari royal family, you see that Iran and a whole bunch of other international entities are also watching and enthusiastic about his campaign. One final thing about the Thani family that rules Qatar. This is the same family that in the 1990s gave refuge to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Now, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed may be one of those names that sounds familiar. Who is he? He was involved in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. When that happened, he fled. And where did he go? He went to Qatar, where the Al Thani family gave him refuge, gave him a paid job working for the government. When Louis Freeh, the director of the FBI in the 1990s, tracked him down to Qatar and said, we want to arrest this guy, the Al Thani family helped to tip him off and help him to flee Qatar, where he went to Pakistan, where what did he do in Pakistan? He planned the 9/11 attack on the Twin Towers. And it's important to know, I think, that Louis Freeh explained later on that had they been able to get Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in Qatar, that probably would have prevented 9/11 from ever happening, because he truly was a mastermind behind the attack. So that is an example of one of many of these international actors that are backing Mamdani's campaign in New York City and enthusiastic about his campaign.
Peter, it's hard to believe that we are where we are. I was in the Empire State Building the morning of September the 11th, so I still feel it quite personally, as New Yorkers do and did. It's hard to believe that we've gone from that terror attack of September 11th to today, where a guy like this could very well become the next mayor of New York City. And incidentally, we don't have to go to the past. Today, in 2025, the political organization that he belongs to, the Democratic Socialists of America, DSA, here's the headline takeaway: the Democrat Socialist group backing Mamdani condemns the Gaza ceasefire and calls for more anti-Israel resistance. Now, this is not, Peter, this isn't even being hidden. I mean, this is out here in plain sight for all who have eyes to see and ears to hear. And yet this freight train seems to be hurling down the tracks. I got to ask you something. Do you see any scenario where Curtis Sliwa or Andrew Cuomo can block Zohran Mamdani from winning?
Well, I hope that one or the other of those two drops out. I'm certainly not a Cuomo fan. I have criticized him for a lot of his conduct over the years, but sometimes you have to go with the lesser of two evils. I think one of those two has to drop out, whether it's Sliwa or Cuomo. I'll let them decide. I do think there is a path for defeating Mamdani. I think his support is wide but thin, and I think it's based a lot on ignorance of knowing who he is, what his connections are. I'll give you another example, by the way, to just let you know who's watching and enthusiastic about this. Al Khandiq, which is a publication of Hezbollah, the terrorist organization in Lebanon, ran an article a couple of months ago where they talked about, with enthusiasm, about Mamdani's campaign, and said that, if he wins in New York, he's going to have a very, very powerful position. He can do a lot of things. And then they go on to say that Mamdani from there could go on to potentially be the Secretary of Homeland Security in Washington, D.C. And I'm thinking, why would a terrorist organization want Mamdani to have that job in particular? Or you look at the International Quran News Agency in Iran. They are enthusiastic about his campaign and saying that this represents their Islamist principles, their Islamist values. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So I think the more people become aware of Mamdani, his ties, what his policies are, and who is supporting him, his support will wane. The question is the news media, the broader news media, going to actually allow people to know about these connections before the election? And that, of course, is the key question.
Peter, your work is as important now as it's ever been. Check out The Drilldown with Peter Schweizer and company, thedrilldown.com. Great podcast, great work. Peter, it's so good to catch up with you after all this time. Come back and visit with us again soon. Keep fighting the good fight.
You too, my friend. Take care.